Hello everybody, Big Planes here. Now before I get too deep into this update video for my LEGO British Airways 777, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to everybody over on Patreon who helps to support the channel. It really means a lot to me, and it's one of the main reasons why I'm actually able to build these planes. So yeah, if you want to go support the channel over on Patreon, I will leave a link in the description below. So, more progress on the 777, and yes, I'm moving very quickly on this because I do want to get this done before the end of the year, but I am very happy to announce that I have made some substantial progress on the engines and, less notably but still important, the flaps. So I'm going to start actually with the flaps. So I'm going to come around to the back here, and here are the flaps. Now, right now I have both of them in the extended position. Now, before that, I just want to clarify something from the last video. This is not an elevon, this is a flaperon. Sorry about that, that was just a typo I made multiple times in the video. But yeah, this is a flaperon, not an elevon. I don't know what I was talking about. But the flaps here are dual slotted Fowler flaps. So the way these work, and I'm going to try to do it with one hand because I have to hold the camera with the other, is this piece right here slots into this piece right here, and then this entire section right here slots into this segment right here, and then of course the spoilers fold down on top of that. So, and of course the flap track comes up. That is how my flap designs work. So this is what it looks like extended. This is what it looks like retracted. Sort of with a slip of the tongue there. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how that turned out. I sort of had to harken back to the days of the 747 for this one because it's been a long time since I've actually had to deal with slotted Fowler flaps on a heavy aircraft, because as you guys may remember, the A380 just had a single slotted Fowler flap, which is a heck of a lot easier than the dual or triple slotted. At least these weren't triple slotted Fowler flaps like the 747 has. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. And once I retract them, you actually can get a better view of the landing gear. Now, I'm not sure, and it's a bit of a mess down here with the cables and stuff. That is temporary. I am not sure if I showed you the landing gear in the last video or not, but I will this time around. You can see that this is pretty much my final design for it. I tried to add as much detail here as I could. You can see there are two struts holding it up, this one right here and another one up front. This one right here is the primary strut that actually keeps the gear in place, and the one in the front's more of a faux strut, just to be more accurate, because the 777 did have two struts holding up the landing gear. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one too, and it seems to be holding the weight of the airplane pretty well. I mean, you can put a lot of strain on here and it's just not going to collapse, so that's good. Hopefully the landing gear continue to hold up. And I think I went into a little bit more detail in the last video about how I actually go about building landing gear on these planes, especially when their wings are at an upward dihedral. So yeah, I'm quite satisfied actually with that. You can see that what this looks like from directly behind, with of course the extended and retracted flaps and spoilers. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. The next major thing you're going to notice in this update is the engines. So the engines were a point of interest for me on this one, because I wanted to cut features on this. I don't usually say I want to cut features, but I wanted to remove features that were just gimmicky and sort of unnecessary. And one of those features is the motorized engines. Now, that does not mean I will not motorize these engines in the future. I actually left a spot for the motor to do so, but the problem is that one, it seems like nobody kind of really cared about it, and two, it makes it extremely difficult to remove this engine from the wing. Because right now, there's no cables at all attaching this. All I have to do is just take off the pylon, basically, and the engine comes off. Whereas if there's a motor in here, I have to run a cable from the engine all the way up through the wing into the central wing box, and that makes it extremely difficult to remove the engines. And that's just, I just don't like that for transporting this, for storing this, and for showing this at shows. So I may add it in the future. I don't know. I mean, I left it so these fan blades can indeed spin in their housings, so I may add it later. But right now it's not motorized, and that's just a function of time. But those of you who recognize these engines from the A380 will certainly recognize them, and they're not exactly the same. I did make them larger, so I made them a little fatter here on the sides, on here on the bottom. I added this little fin here. Oops, sorry, I just hit the camera. I added this little fin right here on both sides, and actually I really like how this fin turned out, and so I'm probably going to add it to the A380 when I next get that one out of storage. And you can see here that there are still a few parts that have not been replaced. I did order these in dark blue. However, I had to order them from, I believe, Slovenia, because again, for some reason they're just ridiculously hard to find. You can see over here on this engine, I did find them. I was able to find a couple of them in the States, so this is about what it should look like, but I still am waiting for the final order so I can replace all of them. Just a minor tidbit, but I think it is important just so you guys know that those pieces will be replaced in the future. And in terms of the fan blades, I'm pretty happy with this design. I decided to use, so you can get in there a little closer, I decided to use metallic silver for the fan blades, and I was a little concerned that it would end up looking too much like the engines on the 777X, but even if it does look a little 777X-ish, I actually really like how these turned out, so I'm going to stick with them, even though I think it's technically supposed to be a little bit darker. I really like how this turned out. This is supposed to mimic the metal, or I believe it's titanium, leading edge of the fan blades. Maybe this is what the newer 777-200s look like. I don't think they look like this now. I think they're mostly just black on the inside. But I really like how it turned out. I think it's a nice contrast to the dark blue engines. And I think it looks pretty good, actually. So I'm going to stick with the metallic silver bits inside of the engines because I think it looks pretty good. So that about wraps up the progress for this video. Now, for the next video, I need to mold the underside because obviously this is all just a big mess right now. That's not the final product. I have this here temporarily just to show me what I need to do to mold this in. This will all be dark blue on the bottom because obviously this is a British Airways airplane. And after I do that, I will then work on finishing the outer wings out here. Then after I do that on both sides, hopefully this is relatively soon, after I do that, I'm going to start working my way forward to the nose. So you guys know how this goes. After I do the nose, then I will do the tail, and then following the tail comes the interior. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I do hope to have more videos out within about a week because I want to update you guys at least weekly on this. I feel like I did not do justice with the A380. Sometimes the updates were many weeks apart, so I want to speed that along a little bit with this one. I'm being a little bit more aggressive in my timing here, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am looking forward to making more progress on the British Airways 777. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye for now.